All right, guys. I'm here for another Hambone's movie review, and went and seen Fast Nine. Had a good time going just to the movies over there and everything else. And because it's Fast Nine, man, I had to go sleepless because I'm all muscle bound and can do all these amazing feats of glory, obviously. But Fast Nine is a movie that's directed by Justin Lin. There's obviously 8 more movies in the franchise, and they range between like being like super good movies in a lot of cases to like not being so great. It's according on what your taste is and everything else. So I went to movies, like I said, to watch Fast Nine, and I'm one of those people that don't really love the franchise, so you have to kind of take what I'm about to say during this like with a grain of salt. Like I'm going to pull out things that I had issues with during the movie and stuff like that. But I did get to go see this movie with one of my friends, Jake Acavetta. There's us in front of the poster there, which was like I said, that like this just makes it a good time. You're hanging out with a good buddy. You're watching a movie together. So, but I'm going to tell you, that's probably the best time I had was creating this photo when I went and saw this movie. Not to say there wasn't anything in this movie that didn't make it or didn't seem to make it redeemable, right? Like there are things in this movie, and if you are a lover of the franchise, like I could see you, it's obviously going to hit you differently than what it hit me. It's going to be like a little bit of a different review for you because you love the franchise just like I love Star Wars. Now the thing is, like I do love Star Wars, but I can look at something like The Rise of Skywalker and say, hey, there's some cool things in there that I like because I'm a Star Wars fan. There's a lot of beautiful scenery and stuff like that. But like, I also know that movie's a hot mess when it comes to like actually laying everything out. All the stuff feels too rushed. It probably should have been 2 movies instead of 1 where they could do a little more setup and everything. So I do realize the mistakes or I realize the faults in movies, even in franchises that I love, right? And this is not particularly a franchise that I love. I love cheesiness when it comes to horror movies. And I don't really love the cheesiness when it comes to like action. When it does happen though, like if you can make me laugh a bunch of times during the movie and things like that, then it kind of does change it. Like if this movie, if I went and seen it and I found myself laughing a bunch of times and still having a good time and being able to like overlook some of the stuff without it bothering me any, then like, oh man, I'm probably going to give the movie like a great grade and whatnot. But that's one of the biggest problems with this movie. This movie's about 2.5 hours long. Like I said, it's directed by Justin Lin, but there's only like 2 times in the movie that I actually kind of giggled, laughed a little bit out loud, just a couple of moments. And then there was like a bunch of eye rolling moments. It's like, bro, like this is almost too much for me to even truly just laugh at and whatnot. So we have like a couple of different things. I'm not going to give out every little plot detail and stuff like that. But in this movie, obviously, it's the group of people, Fast Nine. They technically, as the movies progress, they kind of became more like superheroes where they're trying to save the world from some calamity and whatnot. And they're trying to do that on this one. In this movie, it actually stars John Cena, who ends up being Dom's brother. And there's some like family history that happens and stuff you learn throughout the movie. John Cena becomes a bad guy, and he's actually trying to get this thing to where they can actually use a satellite, and they get all the information that you would ever need, like codes to shoot nukes and all that kind of stuff. So like that's pretty much the premise of the movie is like the team of Fast Nine, the team of Don, the family or whatever, is to go and try to stop this. All right. Let's just get into it. Like it's a couple of things here. Like I said, I didn't think it was as funny as it probably should have been. Like a lot of the jokes didn't hit for me. One of the biggest problems is in this movie, and some of this stuff looks really cool, right? This looks really cool, right? But one of the issues, and the reason why I'm bringing up this picture is, like, they have magnets in this movie. Like, there's these really powerful magnets and, like, this new technology stuff. And that's how they're able to, like, lift this truck up is because both of those cars are outfitted with these magnets. Now, in a couple of scenes, I didn't mind the magnets. But the magnets, it was like they could read the minds of the people controlling them. Because one of my biggest problems with this movie is these magnets, because They turn on the magnets one time. So they're doing a chase scene with John Cena. And John Cena's in a car. They're in the vehicle with this powerful magnet technology. They're riding by. They turn it on. It sucks John Cena's car. Nothing else around this metal. It's only John Cena's car. But in another moment of the movie, they use it, and it's literally sucking like even cell phones out of people's hands and bikes off the sidewalk. And then another moment they use it, and it's like bringing down these metal telephone poles to like come down because of how strong the magnets are. But none of the other vehicles, none of the other stuff around this metal is getting pulled into anything. Then even with this scene right here that I've got pulled up with the two cars pulling up this big machinery here, like they're trying to stop it and slow it down. And they use the magnets, and it pulls every car off the side of the road into the thing trying to stop it. So it was almost like, okay, this is a part of the movie where we need this to happen. We're going to use the magnets, but we don't care about any of the rules or anything that would deal with magnets. It's just like this moment, everything on the side of the road is going to come in. This moment, we're only selectively going to pick one car to pull instead of every other car that was out there. So it was pretty weird when it comes to that. And that was kind of like throwing me off. That was more of like a me looking at it going like, that was an eye roll moment. Like it just wasn't the greatest. There was also another thing. This was sort of funny, right? Like just because of how it looked. But we had the John Cena zipline moment in this movie where this dude like zip lines for a good almost like 10 minutes, it feels like, from this one place to the other. And he's just having the grandest time of all time, just zip lining through the city. There's also a part in this movie where we have this, like, I think it's a Fairlane or whatever, but it's like this ridiculous car strapped to a rocket. And like, this is the problem that I have with the magnets. The magnets were so bad that them putting a rocket on this car and it staying together and being thrown out into outer space was actually more believable, than the actual magnets themselves, which should be way believable, right? Like I should be able to feel like, oh, somebody can make this super strong magnet that could pull almost anything. I should be able to believe that more than I could believe this car being shot out in outer space. But you know what? Like I was perfectly fine with the car being shot out in outer space because the magnet thing was just so like, come on, dude. Like every time, like I said, it was just very specific to certain parts of the movie. We're going to use this magnet, but we're only going to use it this way because that's the only thing we need at this time. It was just so obvious. It was like, man, dude, like, did nobody think of that whenever you were doing the movie? But it is what it is. Like, I don't want to sit here and just like beat this thing to death. Like, this is just my problems. This is just the things that I didn't like. There was other things like there's a Dom, basically I call it a fake death scene because Dom's not going to die. They really use it just like as he's dying, like he's remembering things a little differently. And he remembers that John Cena, like his brother, wasn't actually like as bad as he thought or didn't kill his dad. His brother was actually doing something that his dad set up, which ended up helped cause the accident that killed him. And Dom had blamed John Cena's character like all movie for like killing his father pretty much. But like you find out in this little scene. So I get it, but man, maybe just like knock the dude out or something. Like don't try to act like he's going to die. We know he's not going to die. And then there was a few scenes where like a new character would show up and everybody had to give him the dramatic hug. Like, oh yeah, I love you. Like, and like I said, if you're a lover of the franchise, maybe those hugs, maybe even the fake death or whatever, like doesn't really bother you at all. But for me watching the movie, like I knew as soon as he hits the water, like, and it looks like he may be drowning and dying. I'm like, okay, we know he's not dying. So this is almost a waste of time. They could have used another way for him to flash back and start remembering some of the things a little bit differently. And then even in that scene, his wife, girlfriend, whatever you want to call her, is like standing at the door and she's hollering, like, oh man, no, because like everything's happening and he's like falling down into this like crevice and all this. And like not even like as soon as the little like flashback thing happened, she's the one jumping in the water to save him. So like, why was she so distraught? Like, like if there was any opportunity for you to get there to save him, why would you be so distraught at that moment when you're physically the one that goes out and saves the guy? Like that doesn't make sense to me. They should have used like someone else that was part of the team to like maybe go down there and grab him, and then maybe the girl like being so shocked that he's possibly dying. Maybe whenever their other member of the team brings him back, she can be super happy about it or something. But it's like she's literally at the door looking out the window, no, and then like 5 minutes later, she's the one diving down into the water to grab him to save his life. So, like I said, man, it's just like a couple of those things that I don't love. Like when it comes down to it, when I rate this movie, I rate 1 to 10, 5 being in the middle, like that I don't hate, I don't like. I'm just right there in the middle. And this movie, unfortunately, to me, like is on the bad side of this. This is the first movie review that I'm doing that I'm having to give something below a 5, and this movie right here, to me, only earns a 3. And I just, man, it's just like I said, if it would have been a little more funnier, more comedy involved, and everything else. The only thing in this movie that was cool was like these really cool action scenes. But because so many movies do that nowadays, like so many movies utilize the CGI to make these, like all the superhero movies, for instance, and a lot of the newer action movies, like the new James Bond, will probably use a lot of this stuff they used to not be able to do when they made movies, and now they're able to make all these like super big, huge set pieces and able to make these like super crazy like action scenes. Whenever Fast 9 does it, it doesn't shock me anymore. It's not like it doesn't go bam, hit you right in the face with like, this looks amazing. Like I said, like this scene right here that I was talking about with the magnets that I brought up, this scene is like really beautiful, really cool looking, actually. Like it's even like a pretty good action sequence of like the cars trying to stop this thing and all of that. But like I've seen these kind of things before now in movies, not exactly like this, yes, but like something similar, like where cars are like a big vehicles doing this kind of flip over thing. Now it just happens all the time. So now when Fast 9 does it, even when they do something at the craziest, it's not like it used to be. It's not like, oh, I can't believe they did that, man. How'd they do that? Now it's like, oh, I've seen that like in another movie before, or at least something similar to it. So it's one of those things to where, should they make a Fast 10? Like, because they are going into that realm to where it's not the shock factor. Like no matter what they pick, right? They have to like do something so super crazy to even be different. And truthfully, in some ways, it may not even be that different. So it's up to y'all guys to decide. I mean, I'm pretty sure this movie and this franchise has made a lot of money and everything else. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys love this franchise. And a lot of you guys really want to go out and see this movie, even maybe multiple times and stuff like that. Don't let my like review of a movie and what I thought about things about a movie like really affect you going to the movies and see it, because I see and watch a lot of stuff that I know a lot of other people wouldn't like. I love B-movie style stuff. I love sitting down and watching a movie that's like, really not known and just really sitting back and enjoying it. And especially, like I said, in my horror genre. This is something that I don't really love in the action genre, but I can understand why a lot of other people out there loves this kind of stuff. Don't let my rating of a 3 be like detrimental for you to go out and see it yourself. If you like the Fast 9 franchise, I'm obviously not a big fan, but you may be. So to you, it may hit you way differently than it did me. And it's not just me. When you watch other people do reviews, don't let them affect you and how you love and like movies, right? Like, and it's always cool to debate with people too, right? Like, but it's debate. Don't go personal attacks like I do see sometimes some people go out there. Like, I don't mind you joking around, like even on this video, and you put like, well, are you crazy? Like, 3, well, it should be like a 9 and everything else. Like, I don't care. Like, that's your score. This is just mine. And like, it's cool for everyone to be different. That's one of the things that makes the world great, is that we're not all cookie cutter. We're not all the same. We all have different points of views. We all see things in a different way. And that's what makes life so enjoyable, because we meet so many different people and we meet so many like just different like ideas and everything else. So like, and I love that about I love that about movies, and like how many people likes this and like that. It's just great. So let's do that. Let's all sit around and like enjoy what we enjoy and have fun. Like, of course, for instance, Ferris, my co-host on the main show for Let's Get Ready, is a big Fast and the Furious fan. He may love this movie. He may think this movie's one of the greatest things he's ever seen. I'm not going to see that, but I'm not also going to like blatantly attack Ferris for liking this movie if he says he likes it. Like like I said, man, go see the movie. I was shoving popcorn in my face, and that's kind of what this movie's supposed to do. Like I said, my only problem was I thought it should be funnier. If it's going to be like this cheesy, over the top thing, I believe that should come with some kind of comedy. And I felt myself not wanting to laugh at a lot of it. But that's just my personality, man. That's maybe just my way that I look at comedy, and it just didn't hit me that way. And all comedy movies are really that way. So, like, look, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, even though I said some negative things about a movie that you may like. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and come hang out with us, man, whenever we do things, because we enjoy the community involvement and all that. And until next time,